Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Aquarians, first off, happy almost super moon. That comes up tomorrow, so October the 6th at nighttime and into the 7th. And ooh, wow, we start out with the moon cycles. Um, so let me just mention this. This is going to be our biggest, brightest supermoon. It's the first of three consecutives. Of course, the supermoon occurs when the moon is closest to the earth. So it amplifies things. Specifically, the supermoon would be amplifying intuition. And so with that in mind, I wanted to kind of take a look at like what's being dragged up from the depths and, brought into the light or into the forefront of someone's mind. Also, just as a side note, guys, make sure you have your notification bells turned on because tomorrow, in honor of the supermoon, I will be going live on both channels at some point in time and doing some card pulls for subscribers and members. Okay, so let's party right. So we have the moon and cycles. If one of the things that is coming to the surface for Aquarius is that concept of like, oh, this is cyclical. This is something that it's like we've completed one circle and here we go again. Now that can be a positive cycle or a negative cycle. I mean, if everything is cyclical, then we know there can be the ebb and flow of like anger and bad behavior, and then we can also shed that and we can go into a time where it's like everyone craves peace. This can be at a personal level. This can be at a more like massive like macro level as well. But let's not forget that full moons are also times of release, regrowth, renewal. So I'm definitely going to be putting emphasis on it tomorrow. I'm going to be putting a lot of emphasis on what we're leaning toward that would be better, what we're seeking that would be better, that what's the best message that would come through, especially like that deeper message. What's the core value or what's the core thing that we really would like to bring forth into our lives? And so with the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, first off, this is great because he's in a pumpkin patch, and obviously we're in October, so it's very pumpkin-y. But we have a cycle of stress that's actually ending and a cycle of like awareness that, wow, this long journey that I took, and we can see this person has been going through the valley, for quite a while. And there's, oh God, I'm thinking of the Elvis is singing it in my mind, the hymn as I walk through the valley. Sorry, now I'm also here on Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. But first I heard Elvis, and there's a couple of different hymns that speak about like walking through the valley. But it almost feels as if there have been trials and tribulations that have caused a lot of stress. But Aquarius is like, you know what? That was part of a learning process, and I have received every lesson along the way. And now I sit and my pumpkins are ready to be harvested. This is possibly going to be not just a great supermoon for Aquarius, but possibly a fantastic October, very specifically, because it's a time of great harvest. We have the devil sideways. So definitely somebody is saying, oh my God, I went through so much stress, so much tension, possibly with a partnership or a lover. Maybe I was a little bit toxic with them. They were a little bit toxic with me. Sometimes we push each other in and out of our comfort zones, and we have to deal with stuff. We have to learn, what we're doing and the mistakes that we're making. And then we get more grounded, and then we get more solid. And it almost feels as if that was one of the big lessons. And it kind of says, wow, we have King of Cups, we have Six of Cups, and we have King of Wands. I don't think that this is the same lesson exactly, but it does say that we're starting a new cycle, right? That first card out was at that deep intuitive level. If Aquarius is aware that I completed one journey and I'm ready for the next, so maybe I realized that I made certain mistakes in the partner that I chose last time. This is where we were toxic. This is what I got sucked into, but I've seen it for what it was, and I'm no longer in that energy, and now I'm ready to try love again. Or because this is a returning soulmate and we have older and younger here, this could actually be Aquarius might realize I'm about to get all booed up again, and it could be with the same person, but maybe I'm a little older and wiser now. We're starting a new cycle together, but wiser. We're starting a new cycle having learned lessons. Now we know the pitfalls. This time it could be different. It, this could be that Aquarius is recognizing I would want to do it all over again with them because I think this time we could have a different outcome. This time, I would be able to be more expressive, or this time I would operate differently and give them space to be more expressive, or I would tell them more what my needs are. Um, it just feels like we could have a brand new person coming in. It's definitely about love, and it's definitely that I'm ready for a new cycle to begin, but I definitely learned the lessons of a past relationship, and it was something I benefited from. And that's why I know I can be successful in love now. But this almost feels like either Aquarius is saying, but I'm sensing that there is a soulmate on their way into me, or they're simply saying, I'm ready for a soulmate now. Let me take a look. Can we see anything about who a soulmate is? I mean, maybe there's two to choose from with the King of Wands and a King of Cups, but Five of Pentacles in the reverse and Four of Wands upright. This almost looks like we have a very wonderful opportunity beginning on this supermoon and maybe all throughout the month of October for two people who maybe have learned similar lessons. So Aquarius, and we're going to say that a king. And I the way I wanted to read this first is that this is the same person. I know we see him younger and we see him older. Both times he's in sunglasses. Both times he's seated. Here, he's using his heart. Here he's using his emotions. I almost feel like there's somebody that loved Aquarius and still does, but maybe Aquarius and this person struggled in a romance or a relationship, and they're both wiser now. Certainly on his side, we see him saying, here's what I learned. Intuitively, I know better than to think that I'm going to be just fine forgetting about Aquarius. It was a huge loss. I don't want it to be a huge loss. Intuitively, it doesn't have to be a huge loss because Aquarius is walking this earth and so am I. So why the hell can't I still pursue Aquarius? It almost feels like that's what's hitting them during this supermoon, this sense of awareness, this deep intuition that it's like, I don't need to walk around and feel sad when I could actually be with Aquarius. Ace of Cups in the reverse. That is the one big problem is what if Aquarius doesn't love me? But I got to go find out because lying to myself or coming up with a lie that says they do love me or lying to myself and say that they don't love me, all that will do is prevent me from finding out. So there's only one way to get the truth, and that is to go ask the one person on earth who can tell me the answer, which would be Aquarius. And sure enough, we have that, Seven of Swords. Maybe Aquarius doesn't love me anymore. Aquarius might have even said, I don't love you anymore. That these two could have had quite the messy past together, quite the heartbreak. They caused each other a lot of stress, is what it said on that Devil card. So, I mean, and again, it's so understandable, right? When we get upset with somebody, when we get brokenhearted, we say things that maybe we think are true in the moment, but they're not actually true. We act out in ways that don't really reflect how we really feel because we're acting out, of hurt feelings and fears and things like that. So I would just say nothing here says that Aquarius actually is like, ooh, I hate you. I think deep down they know this also. I really do. It feels like the king during this full moon is aware that it's like they've always still felt married somehow to Aquarius. Like Aquarius has always been the one for them. Even if Aquarius said, I don't love you, they never quite believed that. But again, they got to take things at face value, or they got to ask Aquarius point blank, do you still not love me? I know you said you didn't, but I never quite believed it because I still loved you. It almost feels like we're getting characters to the point during this supermoon where instead of suppressing all kinds of emotions, like the raw truth is coming up, which is, I love you. What am I supposed to do other than admit how I actually feel? We got the Nine of Wands. We got the Empress. Look, whether or not like Aquarius wants to spit fire at them, they're still saying, I love Aquarius. Aquarius has been the empress of my life. That's just how it is. Aquarius has always been the person that, even if they hold back from me, even if they'll never talk to me again, they're still going to be the one. They are one of the most admirable people I've ever known. I think that is how they genuinely feel about Aquarius. And that's what's coming to the surface for them during this supermoon, is the truth of how they feel. But they never quite believed that Aquarius hated them, or that Aquarius didn't love them, or that they thought Aquarius lied to them and said, go away, you're toxic, I don't love you. Then they thought that's not true. And I think it's just because deep down, there's love there. There just is between these two. Let me ask, universe, is this like a special timing where these two could potentially like really work things out then? Is that where we're at? The Lovers and the Fool card. The universe is like, that's what I've been saying the whole time. Yeah. If two people want to stand together side by side for the rest of their lives, because they love each other. At the end of the day, they love each other. That's what we see in this whole story, right? Has it been messy? Oh, God, yeah. Has it been toxic? Yep. Have there been lessons learned? Oh, yeah. Long lessons? Yep. So many lessons, in fact, that I don't even think this king looks the same as he used to. He may be a silver fox now. He may have gone prematurely gray-haired, possibly, or white, or snowy, or silver, but it doesn't matter. I think Aquarius will always still see him as the person that Aquarius knows that he loves Aquarius, and vice versa. Do you notice that that was the message in this? It was toxic, yes, but neither person ever actually believed that the other one didn't love them. But again, this is the part that's been suppressed, because there's plenty of times where we go, oh, they were horrible to me. They didn't love me. They didn't treat me right. And then it's like, I'm saying all of that and I'm angry and I'm hurt and it's toxic and it's messy. But if I'm really honest, there's never been a time when I didn't know that they actually truly love me, that we really had a unique bond. This is not two people that though would be getting back together for let's do some more toxicity. This is, again, a new cycle that could begin without the toxicity, because we just got to that raw truth that the supermoon brings up, which is, but they loved me. We needed to mature for sure. And over here, he's saying, I know Aquarius said they didn't love me, but Aquarius loved me. And I respect the hell out of this Aquarius more so than anybody I've ever known. None of this looks like two people who don't want to be together to me. They said that they didn't, but it wasn't ever true. Not on either person's side. In this fictional story, please remember, these are fictional stories. Our characters get to do whatever they want to do. But in this story, it just seems like the simplest truth is what's coming to the surface during the supermoon. And even the universe is like, it'd be a great time for characters if they want to reach out to each other, if they've come to this truth in themselves that I still love this person and I would want to start a new cycle without the toxicity, then give it a whirl. Like it's just because if two people are on the same page and if they've both grown. Now, if they hadn't both grown and it would just be a whole nother cycle of toxicity, then hell to the no. But it just kind of says that, at least in this story, they're both on that same page where it could be a very different outcome this time. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I will see you guys tomorrow. Keep your notification bells turned on as I go live for subscribers and members tomorrow. Okay, bye.